Hi, I'm Dr. Lakshmi Ravishankar, and in this module, we'll be discussing the stereochemical outcome of the Diels-Alder reaction. So, at the end of this module, the student should be able to predict the product of the Diels-Alder reaction with the correct stereo and regiochemistry, identify the starting diene and the dienophile which should give rise to a given Diels-Alder cycloadept, identify endo and exo product of a Diels-Alder reaction. So Diels-Alder reaction is highly stereospecific, and the relative stereochemical relationship of the diene and the dienophile is retained in the product. And we all know that the reaction occurs due to the overlapping of p orbitals of the diene and the dienophile which lie perpendicular to the plane of the carbon atom. A given diene possesses two faces, namely the top face and bottom face. The dienophile can approach either of the faces, and hence you end up with a racemic mixture. So look at this. This is my diene. You have the top face and you have the bottom face. This is butadiene. And if this is the ethylene, which is my dienophile, let us say it's approaching from the bottom face. So when it approaches from here, this is the kind of product that you are going to get. Now, since there is no substituent on my diene, I do not have any chiral centers in my product. As ethylene also is a chiral, dibutadiene is also a chiral, the cyclohexene derivative is a chiral. But suppose you had substituent here, instead of two hydrogens, there was a methyl here, there was a methyl here, and you had taken a dienophile which was attached to an electron withdrawing group, then you would have ended up with several chiral centers. The maximum could be 4 chiral centers, which means you can have 16 stereoisomers. But what is observed is the reaction is highly stereospecific and you end up with only certain stereoisomers, the others are not formed. A rule of thumb is because of the bottom phase approach of the dienophile, the inside substituents of the diene will take up the beta orientation, or they'll be above the plane in the cyclohexene product. The outside substituents would take up the alpha orientation. So here hydrogen is inside, so they are beta. The methyls are outside, so they become alpha. So again we come back to this. This is my hexadiene system. This is my dienophile. Okay. There is no geometry here because this is a triple bond, so it is going to be a linear molecule. So if you see here, now this is approaching here from below. So these two hydrogens will be going up and you will get a product like this, which if you write it in the planar form is going to be written in this form. The inside substituents will be beta, the outside substituents will be alpha. So the stereochemistry of the dienophile given the bottom phase approach. Now there are two possibilities. We discussed the bottom phase approach. Now is the CHO the substituent? Is it below the pi cloud or is it away from the pi cloud? This is known as an endo approach. This is known as the exo approach. And what is found is that it is the endo product which is favored. It is formed faster. We will see why shortly. The exo product, although it is thermodynamically more stable, but it is not formed, and the reason is seen in the next slide. So this is based on the Adler's endo rule. The endo mode of addition is usually preferred to the exo addition due to secondary orbital overlap between the dienophile's activating substituent and the diene. So this is my C double bond C and this is CHO. So this is my pi cloud C double bond O. So you have pi orbitals, p orbitals here. There's a secondary orbital interaction which is stabilizing the transition state and hence it is formed faster. Such an interaction does not exist in the exo isomer because now you see here that this C double bond O is away from this pi cloud, so there is no secondary orbital overlap in the exo approach. Another example, now you have disubstituted diene and you have a disubstituted dienophile. So this is the endo product. So this is it is approaching from here. So these two hydrogens will be going up, and because you started with the cis, the COH will also be cis in the product. So this is the endo approach and this is the exo approach. Again here, this is the endo approach. So you see this is my C double bond C, this is C double bond O, OH of this thing. So you can see there is a secondary orbital interactions possible in the endo approach. It is not possible in the exo. So the endo approach is the favored product, and we will be solving some examples towards the end. So the cis-endo rule says that suppose you have a diene which is not substituted, but my dienophile could be either cis or trans, then in that case in the cycloadduct, the cis geometry or the syn geometry of the substituents which was originally present in the dienophile is retained in the product. So if this was cis, then here also it is going to be cis. If this was trans, then the substituents will retain their trans geometry. Now, but suppose you have substituted diene. Say for example, you have this case, these two are diastereomers, this is EE and this is EZ, and if you treat it with this dienophile, you see that I could have two possibilities. Now when you have the groups which are coming out in the product also, they will be retained. It will be a cis geometry. This could be either above the plane or it could be below the plane. But if I had an EZ type of olefine, then you will see that in the product the substituents would be trans. Now here you have a example of a reaction where you have substituents on the diene as well as you had a substituent on the dienophile. So here the possibility, now these are groups which are coming out, so they are going to be alpha, and you want an endo approach, so this also has to be going below the plane. So the major product is going to be this. If it approaches from the top side, you would get the enantiomer of this product, and that's why we said that it would result in a racemic mixture. Now we have discussed the stereochemistry with respect to the diene and the dienophile. What about the regiochemistry of the Diels-Alder reaction? Because if I have my diene, it's a one substituted diene or a two substituted diene, depending on what is the nature of the substituent in the diene, I could end up with regioisomers as can be seen here. So this is a one substituted diene. When it reacts with the dienophile, we know that the endo product is the major product. Both of these are endo product, but what is the difference between the two? This is a 1,2, or many often books refer to it as ortho product. This is a 1,3 product. So if I had a diene which is substituted on C1, I could end up with a 1,2 or a 1,3 product. If I had a diene which is substituted at C2, you could end up with a 1,4 or a 1,3 product. In both the cases, the 1,3 is never formed. It is either the 1,2 or the ortho product referred to by some books, or the para product or the 1,4 product, which is the favored product. And why is this so? Because if this is my substituted diene which is having the substituted on C1, let us assume that you have a methoxy on C1, then you can delocalize these electrons, as a result of which you find that there's a greater electron density on this carbon as is shown here. If you consider this as the dienophile which is attached to an electron withdrawing group, then you can see that by delocalization, I find that this carbon is electron deficient. So obviously you're going to have a bond formation between the rich and the poor. So there is going to be a bond formation between the C4 of the diene and the C2 of the dienophile. And if that happens, then there is going to be a bond formation between this and this, resulting in your 1,2 product. You can do a similar exercise for the 1,4. You can also have intramolecular Diels-Alder reaction. And in the intramolecular Diels-Alder reaction, again, it depends on whether the substituent which is carrying the dienophile, is it attached to the C1 of the diene or is it attached to the C2 of the diene. So here you have the example where the dienophile is part of a substituent which is attached to C1, in which case when it undergoes the Diels-Alder reaction, you will end up with a fused bicyclic system as is shown here. So this is my 1, 2, 3, 4 of the diene. I am having the dienophile part of this substituent which is attached to C1. So the product is a fused bicyclic system. But suppose you had the dienophile is part of the substituent attached to the C2 carbon of the diene, then you end up with a bridged bicyclic system as is shown here. So this is C1, C2, C3, C4. I have the substituent on C2 and the dienophile is part of that substituent. So this will give rise to a bridged bicyclic system. So let us see what are the steps for problem solving approach for a Diels-Alder reaction. First, you have to locate the diene and the dienophile. Then consider a bottom phase approach of the dienophile. Look for stereochemistry of diene substituents in the product. Remember, the inside substituents are beta and outside substituents are alpha. Look for the stereochemistry of the dienophile substituent. If it is cis, then it remains cis in the product. If it is trans, it remains trans in the product. And you should also remember the exo versus the endo. The endo is the favored product. And regioselectivity if both diene and dienophile are substituted. So we'll see some solved examples. So suppose you have to write down the product of the reaction of this diene with acrolein. Now first thing is you know that it is going to give me a 6-membered cyclohexene derivative. So a 6-membered cyclohexene is formed. Then you should remember that these two substituents which are coming out in the diene will be alpha in the product. It is going to be a 1,2 product that I'm going to get, and it is going to be an endo product. So the CHO has to be going below the plane. So this is going to be the structure of the product that I get. The outside groups are going below or alpha, and the CHO is an endo approach. Look at another example. Now here this was EE, but here now it is EZ, and you have two substituents on the dienophile. It is a cis orientation. Again draw the 6-membered cyclohexene. This is going to be this is an EZ geometry. So in the product, these two will be trans to each other, but the cis relationship between the ester groups are going to be maintained, and this is going to be an endo. So the product is going to be like this. And the last one, here you have now this is EE, but now you have two substituents which are not the same. Here both the substituents were the same, but here you have two different substituents. So the question is, will ethyl be below the plane, or will you take endo with respect to the ethyl group, or will you take endo with respect to the COOET? Recollect that endo is formed because of secondary orbital overlap. Now that secondary orbital overlap is possible only in the case of ester because only this has got p orbitals. Ethyl does not have p orbitals, so the endo is with respect to the ester and not this. So the product is going to be, major product is this, where the ester group is endo and methyls, both the methyls are outside, so they will be alpha, and ethyl in which case is going to be coming out. So this was trans here. In the product also, if you see, the trans geometry is maintained. So to summarize, Diels-Alder reactions are highly stereospecific. The stereochemistry of the diene and dienophile is retained in the product. You have two modes of addition of the dienophile, the endo and the exo. Exo is thermodynamically more stable, but the endo is kinetically controlled, formed faster due to the secondary orbital interactions between the dienophile's activated substituent and the diene. And if you have substituted diene and dienophile, then the Diels-Alder reactions are highly regioselective, giving only the 1,2 or the ortho and 1,4 or the para-substituted cyclohexene derivative, never the 1,3 substituted adduct. In the next module, we will be seeing 2+2 cycloaddition and 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition. Thank you.